So, what factors make up your Vantage score? Well, that's a great question. Let's break it down in today's training. Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and on this channel we empower individuals to achieve freedom through improved financial literacy. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe and click the bell so that way you get notified on any and all of our future training. So in this video, guys, we're gonna be breaking it down. What factors make up your Vantage score? Okay. And if you haven't seen it, we'll put it in the cards or links below. We did a similar video here where we broke down what factors make up your FICO credit score. And I have to emphasize that there is a difference, okay? One thing that needs to be known is that every single one of you, myself included, we have thousands of different types of credit scores out there because there are thousands of different models, okay, of credit scores. And there are literally hundreds and thousands of different models of credit scores that are out there. And so a FICO score is different than a Vantage score. And now, while some of the things that are considered are very similar on both, the percentages and how they weigh the factors are quite a bit different. And as well, there's some things that are counted against you on a FICO credit score that may not count against you on a Vantage score. So again, there is a big time difference between the two. So if you haven't seen that video about the FICO credit score and those factors, make sure to check that video out. We'll link to it again above or below, again, after you watch this video here. So let's get through the details on what factors make up your Vantage credit score. Now, and I'm going to go through this quickly because the bottom line, okay, is right here, right now as we stand. 90% of all credit decisions are based on FICO credit score. Okay, so it's not necessarily based. So again, most credit decisions are not made using this Vantage score. Now again, there's going to be some companies and some businesses that prefer to use this model because again, it's going to allow for some people to have higher scores than they might normally have on a FICO credit score. And again, we're going to break down the difference between the two in another video. And also, before I even get into this, just know that there are, again, hundreds of different types of Vantage scores, okay? So, what we're gonna be modeling and taking a look at here today is Vantage score 3.0. So the numbers that we're gonna be basing our discussion on here and the factors that we're looking at are based on the Vantage 3.0 model that's currently in place. But again, know that these factors change over the years. There is a Vantage 4.0 coming out soon. So, and again, who knows if that one's going to gain adoption, right? And again, there's reasons behind that. But this is going to be based on Vantage score 3.0. So the first factor that affects your Vantage score is payment history. Okay, and payment history is, again, just like it is on FICO, is the number one thing that affects your Vantage score. And payment history makes up 32% of your Vantage score. So again, it's very, very, very important. And again, what they're looking for here is, again, the recency, the frequency, and the severity. When is the last time you were late on a payment? How frequent and how often are you late making payments? And again, how severe, how bad are you letting it get? If you're late, are you just doing a 30 days late, which is bad, but not so bad, compared to like letting it go 90 days late, which is a major derogatory and very, very bad. So again, payment history is that number one factor inside of what makes up your Vantage score. The second factor that's gonna make up your Vantage score is credit utilization. And this is a big chunk. This is gonna make up 23% of your Vantage score. So this is almost a quarter chunk of your score. And again, what we're looking for here with credit utilization is we're looking at those revolving accounts. You're looking at those lines of credit and what percentage of those accounts are you using? So if you have a $10,000 limit, and let's say you got 3 credit cards and it adds up to a $10,000 total available credit. And let's say you're using $4,000. Let's say you got $4,000 balance over the course of those three, over a spread amongst those 3 cards, right? So 4,000 used of 10,000, that's 40%. You got a 40% credit utilization. And that would be very, very high. And so you want to maintain under 30% when it comes to your credit utilization if you want to max out this 23% of your Vantage score. Keep the credit utilization under 30%. So the third factor is going to be credit usage, and it's also called overall indebtedness. So how much debt are you actually in? Take up all your loans and add up the balances. Take all of your credit card balances, add them up. What is that number? 15% of your score comes from credit usage. So again, you're gonna wanna keep those balances as low as you can if you're trying to achieve the best possible score. The fourth factor that makes up your Vantage score is gonna be depth of credit. And this is very similar to what we call mix of credit over on FICO. And again, this is when we're talking about depth, what we're looking at here is just having various different types of loan products. So let's say you've got an installment loan on your vehicle, you've got a mortgage loan. Again, that's two different types of loan products. And so you're starting to have a mix. Let's say now you got a credit card in there, maybe you got a student loan, maybe you have a different type of personal line of credit, okay? And so now you have all these different types of vehicles that you've used, all these different types of tools that you've made great payments on. They don't just want you to have one big stack of credit cards and you're making good payments here, keeping those balances low. They want to see how well you perform with other types of credit as well. So that's what makes up depth of credit. So the fifth thing that's gonna make up your Vantage score is gonna be any new credit or new inquiries for credit. And again, we've talked about inquiries. Again, there's different types of inquiries. What we're talking about here are what's called hard inquiries, where you have applied for credit, whether that's to get a credit card or whether that's to get a loan for a vehicle or for a mortgage. Whatever the case may be, you have applied for a line of credit, you're gonna get a hard inquiry on your credit report. And what they're looking at is they're looking at a snapshot of 24 months. So over the last 24 months, how many times have you applied for credit? And again, whether that's at the gas station, going for that gas card, or going for one of those store cards so you can get 10% off today's order, they try to get you in line to apply, save 10% now. Well, every time you do that, you're getting a hard inquiry on your credit. And if you have too many of those, okay, it's gonna reduce this percentage of your score. And again, new credit in these inquiries makes up 10% of your Vantage score. So it's a pretty decent sized chunk. So again, for the highest possible score, you're gonna wanna keep those inquiries low. Again, it's okay to apply for credit every now and then. A couple times in 24 months isn't gonna be a big ding on that score. But let's say you've got 6 credit card applications, a couple vehicle applications, you got a mortgage application in here. That's a lot of inquiries inside of 24 months. You're gonna wanna let that cool down a little bit. Let some of these older inquiries roll off before you apply for more credit. And the sixth factor that makes up your Vantage score is gonna be your available credit. And again, this is a smaller chunk, so we got 7% of your Vantage score comes from available credit. And what they're looking for here is simply a percentage. So again, let's say you've got $10,000 worth of available credit on your credit cards, and let's say you have a balance of $4,000. Okay, so you're using $4,000 of that available credit. That means that there is $6,000 of available credit. Okay, and you're gonna be scored on that. And again, in this particular scenario, you'd be at a 60-40, you're not gonna score overly well, because again, you're using 40%. They wanna see those percentages skewed a little bit differently. Again, on the utilization side, we're looking to keep those ratios below 30%. So as far as available credit, we wanna keep that above 70%. Okay, in order for you to be able to max out this chunk of your Vantage score. And again, we're talking about 7%. So again, guys, there you go. Those are the 6 factors that make up your Vantage score. Hopefully you guys found value in this training. We're actually gonna create another video where we're actually gonna break down and show the differences between a FICO and a Vantage score. So that way you guys are crystal clear on the difference. But hopefully you found value here, learning more about Vantage and kind of what makes up this particular score. Some of you guys may have heard about this. Maybe you've applied at different dealerships, or maybe you've gone to work with different vendors and they've used a Vantage score. And many times this is kind of what similar to what you're seeing. If you log into your credit cards online and they share with you, your credit score, many times this is a version of a Vantage score. Sometimes it's FICO, but many times it's a version of a Vantage score. So again, it's very beneficial to know, right? Right here, right now, you're already ahead of most, just knowing that there's multiple different types of credit scores available, and that there is a difference between a FICO score and a Vantage score. So hopefully you guys found value in this training. Make sure to give it a comment, give it a like, give it a share on your social media if you feel that you got folks in your network that need to learn more about some of the tips and techniques that we talk about on this channel. And I will see you in the next video.